Hello, everyone.
We are group 7 and we will be presenting on the immune system. The group members are Sonny Nicholson, Alia Simpson, Stacey and Williams, Tony and Winter, and myself, PJ. Did you all do the assignment I sent yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, we're going to present now. Go ahead.
The purpose of this research paper is to outline the steps in Alia.
Yes, sir. Well, sir, immunological responses are solicited when a pathogen breaks the body's defense mechanism. The innate immune system is the body's natural defense against invaders. It comprises of the skin, mucous membrane, and fluids. Leukocytes circulating in the blood detect the antigen on the surface of pathogens and alerts the body of the foreign entity. Phagocytes trigger the immune response by a process called phagocytosis. Macrophages, which absorb pathogens by binding and present on the macrophage surface, fragments of the virus are known as antigens. The helper T cells then assess the antigen and secrete a protein known as an antibody, allowing effective destruction of the pathogen. You hear, sir? Sir?
I believe he's hearing. Let's just move on. Okay, so we have the differences between the primary and secondary immune response. So, primary immune response is the reaction of the immune system when it contacts an antigen for the first time, while the secondary immune response is the reaction of the immune system when it contacts an antigen for the second and subsequent times. For the occurrence, this occurs in response to the primary contact of the antigen. The secondary immune response occurs in response to the second and subsequent exposure to the same antigen. For the antibodies, in primary immune response, both thymus-dependent and thymus-independent antibodies are involved, while for the secondary, only thymus-dependent are involved. For the types of antibodies, in the primary immune response, a large amount of IgM and a small amount of IgG are present, while for the secondary immune response, a large amount of IgG, a small amount of IgM, IgA, and IgE are produced during this response. For the strength of the response, the primary immune response is usually weaker than the secondary immune response. The responding cells for primary immune response, it has naive B cells and T cells, while the secondary immune response have memory B cells. The characteristics is for the number of antibodies. For primary immune response, it has few antibodies produced, while the secondary immune response has 100 to 1,000 times more antibodies. That's it.
So, according to Lakshmi, natural immunity means that a person has these antibodies since birth. Example, whenever antigen says a cholera enter the body, the person will not suffer from the disease. Natural immunity is created when a person becomes infected by a disease. Take, for instance, someone who becomes infected with chickenpox. After the initial infection, the body builds immunity against the disease. This natural active immunity is why people who catch chickenpox are immune for many decades against the disease. Lakshmi says that acquired immunity means when a person suffers from a disease Once antibodies for the disease-causing antigen will be formed in the body and will not get the same disease again. Natural acquired active immunity occurs when the person is exposed to live pathogen, develop the disease, and become immune as a result of the primary immune response. Once a microbe penetrates the body, skin, mucous membrane, and other primary defenses, it interacts with the immune system. When antigen microbes are encountered for the first time, the primary response is low level of antibodies can be detected in the blood for about 2 weeks. The second encounter produces a second response in which there is a rapid response by the memory B cell, resulting in a marked increase in the antibody production. Immunity can be obtained either naturally or artificially, and it can be active or passive in both cases. That's it.
Thank you, Stacey. Tonya.
Yes, sir. So the cells of the immune system, there are quite a few of them, but I'll just touch on a few. So a dendritic cell is an antigen-presenting cell. Antigen is coupled with major complexes of histocompatibility and introduced to active T and D lymphocytes on a dendritic cell. An eosinophil, this is a kind of immune cell that is a leukocyte or white blood cell. They help fight or cause inflammation from infection. A neutrophil, this is also a type of white blood cell, phagocyte and granulocyte, that helps combat infection. Through ingesting the pathogens, the neutrophils suppress such pathogens. Another cell is the natural killer cell. The main effector cell of innate immunity is the natural killer cell, and it is the first responder of the immune system. Signals from other cells communicate with them, activating and inhibitory. Monocytes are large white blood cells in the bloodstream that specialize in the body's swallowing and absorption of cellular waste, bacteria, and other foreign substances. Macrophages become monocytes. There are two primary groups of lymphocytes, which are T and B lymphocytes. And the lymphocyte is an immune cell which is present in the blood and lymph tissue. A B lymphocyte is a type of white blood cell that grows and makes antibodies in the bone marrow. Phagocytes, these by sticking and wrapping around the pathogen, they engulf them. Phagocytes eat up pathogens. It is in a compartment called the phagosome until the pathogen is trapped within the phagocyte. The phagosome then merges with a lysosome or granule to form a phagolysosome, where toxic material such as antimicrobial agents, enzymes, oxides of nitrogen, or other proteins destroy the pathogen. And that's the end of my piece, sir.
Thank you, Tonya. Did everyone else understand what Tonya read?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir, we did.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, for the differences between T and B lymphocytes. The T cells, also known as T helper cells, are originally produced in the bone marrow from hematopoietic stem cells, or the thymus. Now, these cells give rise to other blood cells, which occurs in the red bone marrow. Hope you guys are taking notes of this now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
T
sir.
cells are a major component of the body's adaptive immune system. These helper cells often become progenitor cells, then proceed to leave the bone marrow, which in turn travels to the thymus through the blood. Now, each T lymphocyte will develop its own TCR or T cell receptor that is specific for a particular antigen. It also states that every single T cell undergoes a process of selection once it enters the thymus. But sadly, though, however, not all developing thymocytes will survive this selection process. Yeah, right? Alright, now for T cell receptors are of no common name as B cell receptors, which is immunoglobulins. Make note of that, please.
Yes.
Prior to an infection, long-lived memory T cells are formed. Memory T cells are important because these cells can rapidly multiply into vast majority of affected T cells once re-exposure to the antigen occurs, which makes the memory T cell have a low threshold. Guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I did the research because you should have known this already because I'm not reading this one.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
No problem, sir.
Alright. I'm going to take the register now. Bird! I'm going to take the register now. So once I call the name, you can log out.
Okay, sir.
Alias Simpson,
Here, sir.
Tony and Winter.
Here, sir.
Miss Winter.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. Shanique Nicholson.
Present, sir.
Stacy and Williams.
Yes, sir, present.
Alright. No, I hope you guys understood everything that was read on this presentation
Sir.
because you're going to get a test on it.
Okay,
Sir.
sir.
Mr.
Alright. Shani?
Sir, Francine said she tell you she has no internet.
Okay, which means she's absent from class today.
Bye, sir.
Okay, sir.
Alright, later.
Right, sir.